Thank you, Paulette. And thank you, Susan. Let us stand to sing our opening song, Hark the Herald Angels Sing. Morning. So grateful. What a beautiful day today. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. How about that? Yay, yay. So the opening prayer I'm going to use again this morning is from the book that I am sharing with you all during this Advent season. It is a prayer from the Western Islands of Scotland, and it's a blessing for peace. And today we're lighting the peace candle. It invokes the graces of earth, air, fire, and water, and weaves these into its devotion to Christ. So let's just take a moment and just rest in our seats, close your eyes if you wish, but just relax and release all. And feel these words. It's a short prayer, but allow them to flow through you, the words to flow through you. Deep peace of the running wave to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the Son of peace to you. Deep peace of the Son of peace to you. Allow those words to flow through you. It's amazing in reading this book how easily it was for the folks in pre-Christianity, Celtic Christian, and after, how they were able to join the earth, the universe, and Jesus all together as one. And it's really very beautiful. It was so simple for them, and it made so much sense to them, and you're going to find out some more today how that made sense to them. So now we're going to be lighting our second candle. We have a song to sing. Whatever you want. Honey, you choose. You have the power. So, today's piece, and the scripture is, I'm leaving you with gifts, peace of mind and heart.
And the peace I give is a gift the world cannot give. And that's John 14:27. Peace shows us there are possibilities for good in every situation and every relationship. It is through the Christ-centered awareness that we project our consciousness of peace. We live, move, and have our beings in the light, love, and peace of God. As we embrace peace, we help create a peaceful world. And so it is. Okay. Bear with me. I am clumsy. And I don't.
Thank you, Jane. Together, let's say our Unity Williamsburg affirmation. Unity Williamsburg is a radiant center of divine life, light, and love. We are a thriving, prosperous spiritual community that honors the divine presence in all and celebrates our oneness through loving service in our community. And today, of course, is the first Sunday of the month, so we have a different Lord's Prayer. So let's say that together. Loving God, within and around us, we revere you. We seek to live life as you would want us to, with love and respect for all people and all things in the universe. May we find each day sufficient for our needs and find forgiveness when we do wrong, just as we forgive those who do wrong to us. In times of trouble, may we center our lives in you, for your being is love, which comes with strength and with beauty and throughout eternity. Amen. Well, that's lovely. That is from Margaret Rolfe. Very beautiful. So let us stand, and before we sing our next song, let's greet each other with the Christ in me greets the Christ in you. And you're going to find out of the two people I'm going to talk about today, they really believed it back in the 4th century. Yeah, that was their thing too. So let us greet each other. The Christ in me greets the Christ in you. The Christ in me greets the Christ in you. Christ in me greets the Christ in you. And the Christ in me greets the Christ in you. All right. Now let us sing together, O come, Emmanuel. Please be seated. It's a beautiful carol. Now is an opportunity for prayer. So I want you to hold someone that you're praying for, or someone, more than one, in your heart. And put your hands over your heart if you wish. And just feel the love and the light of the God that is within each and every one of us, surrounding that person, filling that person, and see the light in that person shine brighter and brighter. And know that the highest and best is happening for that person. If there is an event that's happening that you feel needs prayer, hold that in your heart. And see the same thing. See light and love surrounding all beings at the event. All is well. And if there's a celebration that you wish to bless, and you wish the God within to bless, see that in your heart too. And feel the love and the joy flowing through that celebration. And together, let's say our prayer. As we center our oneness in the one presence and one power, we realize that our thoughts have the power to heal and bless. We send them out now, carrying love, peace, joy, and life to situations and celebrations that we hold in our hearts. Thought by thought and prayer by prayer, we transform the world. Yes, we do. Our platform assistant is Linda Burkhead, and she has the daily word to share with us today.
Before I do, I want to say an interesting bit of synchronicity is that what crossed my visual field in the last couple of days are the words of a person who's a naturopath and a researcher. And this notion of peace, as in meditation, quiet, prayer, twice a day, 10 to 20 minutes, will impact your body's age. So just want to throw that out. There's a book that just got published called Younger You. And it's not about, us idealizing the youth culture. It's about doing things that support inner peace, support well-being at the cellular level. Very cool. Okay, so today's word is peace, and I'm going to first read the affirmation, and then we're going to read it together. So, centered in God, I am a peaceful presence. All together.
Centered in God, I am a peaceful presence.
And as I read the narrative that goes with this message today, feel free to keep your eyes open or feel free to let them close so that it can land in you however it best lands for you. Stepping away from the busyness of holiday preparations and the important work that must be completed before year's end, I continue my Advent journey by practicing peace in the present moment wherever I am. I am gracious with store clerks and servers in restaurants. I add positive, peaceful thoughts to conversations. When I'm traveling, I bless other drivers with whom I share the road and my fellow passengers on public transportation. Peace flows from that place in consciousness where God's presence fills my awareness. I need not find a quiet corner. When I am willing, anywhere can be a peaceful sanctuary. The peace of God refreshes me and goes with me as I return to the activities of the day. Wherever I go, whatever I'm doing, I am a peaceful presence. Psalm 29:11. May the Lord give strength to his people. May the Lord bless his people with peace.
Thank you, Linda. So I'm continuing sacredness of all things. Now, last week I talked about Uranus and Pelagius. This week I'm going to go into the divine feminine because the Celtic wisdom really connected with the masculine and the feminine. They were equal energies in the world. They realized that you need masculine and feminine to keep the species going, right? And they looked at that as a macroism as well as the microism. So the most beloved saint in the Celtic tradition is Brigid of Kildare. She was 5th and 6th century. They don't have a whole lot written about her because biographies was written 100 years after she died, which was in 523. So a lot of it is myth and legend. The legend says that she was born at sunrise, right between the moon going down and the sun coming up, right at that in-between stage, at twilight time. And it also says that her mother gave birth to her in the doorway, so she wasn't born inside or outside, so she was in that threshold. So she is the portal. She is known as the portal or doorway between pre-Christianity, Celtic Christianity, and Celtic Christianity. She is the bridge. She's known as the bridge. So, because she's the doorway between pre-Christian and Celtic Christianity, she is asking us to, this is her legend, she's asking us to awaken, to move beyond our own religions, our own beliefs, and our own peoples, our own customs, and look at other people's spiritual traditions and cultures, to look beyond us. And you don't have to embrace it, but acknowledge it. And also you will see that how you have so much in common, so much in common. There's a wonderful story from, a group of islands off of Scotland. It's called, forgive me, Hebrides Islands? Hebrides. Thank you, Hebrides. Thank you. So, now I said that she was in the 5th and 6th century. Well, their legend has her in 1st century Palestine midwifing Jesus. And they don't have any problem with that. No problem at all. So the story goes that she was a barmaid in an inn in Palestine, 1st century. There's no room at the inn, quote, and they're scarce on food and drink. So the owner of the inn says she can't share with anyone, and they can't come in and have a room. They have no room. So when Jesus and Mary showed up, of course, she's very pregnant, and she meets them, and she says, I'm sorry, we don't have any room, but I will give you my drink and my bread. So she gives her portion, gives them her portion, and they take it and they move on. Well, she goes back into the kitchen, and she sees that her food and drink have been replenished. And she's thinking about that. What kind of sign is that? And at that moment, she looks out the window and she sees a light, a bright light that is shining within a cow barn, which is called a brie. I think it's called that. And so she runs out of the inn and she runs to the cow barn, and Mary is in labor. And she kneels before Mary and she midwifes Jesus, brings him into the world helps him come into the world, and she takes him and she raises him up to give thanks for his birth, and then she starts nursing him. So she is not only a midwife to Jesus, but she was with them when he was born. So she's also the wet nurse of Jesus. And the folks at this time didn't have any problem with that at all. Their imagination was so vivid and so strong, which I'll talk about in the next 2 weeks. They didn't have any problem connecting the two together, which is amazing to me. They saw her as Jesus' midwife. So, once again, she's able to connect the pre-Christian and the Celtic Christian. She's able to be that bridge. It is said that her mother was Christian and her father or stepfather was a Druid. He was a spiritual leader in a pre-Christian Celtic world. And Druid means oak knower or bearer of oak wisdom. Brigid is also known as became Mary of Gales, the mother of Jesus to the Irish people, in a community known as Kildare, means Church of the Oaks. The Jewish site in Leicester was able to embrace both the Christ mystery, and they didn't abandon any of their wisdom, the Celtic wisdom, before the Christianity came into the area. And forgive me for the pronunciations, I'm doing my best. On YouTube is how do you pronounce X? She's also known as the doorway between the human and the divine. Remember, she's known as Jesus' midwife. That's one of her legends. So she is able to marry both the heaven and earth that is within each and every one of us and within all things. She intermingles the divine and the human nature in all people. She is all about awakening the holy in one another, in yourself and in another. She is the relationship, the bridge between humanity and earth. Her feast day is February the 1st, and that's also the day that she died. They say that she died. And on the Celtic calendar, it's known as Imbolc, which means in the belly. It is where new life is to be found, in the belly of the earth, in the belly of a woman, in the belly of the human soul. She is associated with the stirrings of the new depths that are within us, each and every one of us. And if you'll note that February 1st is the halfway point between winter solstice and the spring equinox. It's the halfway between light and dark. She is associated with our awakening in the connection of the spiritual and the physical, allowing us to remember the bursting of new life from earth, that spring energy that's coming in, the stirring of new life in our souls, the resurrection energy that's coming in, and that all of it comes from the same source. And one of the last things that she's known for is the doorway between the womb of the universe and what is trying to come forth. Everything is about birth with her. What are we birthing? Individually, collectively, universally. What are we trying to birth? What ideas are coming forth? And she tells us that we should be midwives to these births, that we should support the births, serve them, help them come forth, and not to be afraid of what's happening, what's coming, what the new beginnings are. Not to be afraid what is coming through that doorway, what is birthing through that doorway. And yes, we do feel the pain of labor, the pain of the unknowing. We've all gone through that. When one door closes, another door opens, and we don't know what that is, possibly. And it is painful, it is worrisome. But we should not feel that. We should look forward and know that what's coming forward, the ideas, a new job, whatever it is that's coming forward, not only for yourself, but for your community, for your world, is a blessing. And we should support that at all times. She was the bridge, or a bridge, there are others. She was a bridge between human and divine. She was the bridge between our world as a druid or earth living and Jesus coming into the world. She was that bridge to know that it was okay. And as the prayer I read to you this morning, it's okay to combine the both, because we are all one with all things that are living in this world. We are one with that. And as I say, we're one on the web of life. We know that she died on February 1st, and legend says that she died in Glastonbury, which is a historical part of a pilgrimage from Ireland to Jerusalem. So they revered the divine feminine. They honored the divine feminine. They honored women. They saw women as men as equal. So during this time, a little bit of history here, the Celtic Christianity and the Roman imperial Christianity was they were far apart. The Roman Church was just pushing forth the doctrine of original sin. Whereas in the Celtic community, which was very much like the Eastern Orthodox community, they continued to celebrate that at the heart of all people, we are divine. We are divine. The Roman tradition subjugated women, whereas in the Celtic tradition, they had both male and female leadership, equal in all ways. The Roman tradition imposed celibacy on their priest, whereas the Celtic tradition, you could still marry. If you wished to go to a monastery and live, you could be celibate there. That was okay. And there was a significant difference in the structure of both the churches, both the traditions. The imperial church was very hierarchical. The bishop and eventually the pope made all the rules and regs for everybody that's in the faith and in your practice. Whereas the Celtic church didn't have a center of authority. It had a bunch of tribes together and they all did their own thing. They were individually, each tribe, each place did their own thing, and they were all unique. Very similar to a unity church. You can walk into any unity church around in different parts of the country, in different parts of the world, and there's going to be differences. There are some similarities, but there will be differences. Very similar. So in the 6th century, Rome sent Augustine to Britain to demand that everybody conforms, and if you don't, we're either going to conquer you or you got to get out. Basically, our way or the highway. They had had enough. Remember last week in Pelagius, they had to send folks in to get rid of the vermin that was going on and what they were praying to or praying about? Same thing. They finally had enough by the 6th century. So during this time, there were wandering scholars all over mainland Europe. And they chose to be scholars and not priests because they thought that that would protect them. And one of those scholars was John Scotus Eriugena. He was 9th century, and he traveled all over the place. You can find some of his teachings. I found a couple of interviews with folks who studied him on YouTube if you wish to research it more. He taught that God is the essence of earth and everything that exists, and that God's love flows through the universe and in all things. And he said what you know the Roman Imperial Church didn't like. He said, we are gods made from God. I'm sure that probably upset, that's a mild word, the Roman priests, the Roman bishops. That essentially everything was an expression of the divine. And the deeper we go, the closer we connect to that divine. And we release that light within us, and we help another release their light too. It's all about not only helping ourselves, but in helping others realize that they are the Christ too. Everyone and everything. He teaches how the divine flow, if it was dammed up or stopped, everything would cease to exist. Now, anyone here that has read Emily Cady's Lessons in Truth, you will read this, and she will say, stagnation is death. And in order to get the flow going again, you need to give. Give of yourself, tithe, whatever that means to you. But you need to give. You need to give of your God self to another. Allow that radiant light that is within you to shine. Eriugena also taught that there are two books through which God is speaking. The first book is a teeny tiny little book, teeny tiny. That's the scriptures. The other book is huge, huge. And that's the living text of the universe. And we need to study both. This text includes the heavens, the sun, the moon, the stars, the earth, all beings on land, sea, and sky, and all life forms that grow up through the ground. If we only read one, and I quote, we will miss the vastness and wildness of the utterance, everything vibrating with the sound of the divine. Isn't that beautiful? We will miss all of that. And I know I've said this here before, they've got technology now that they hook up to different parts of trees or mushrooms, and you can hear the singing from these beautiful beings. And they're different. They're all different. He says that everything is sacred, but we live in a state of forgetfulness, that what is deepest within us and everything that has being. The more we forget our true identity, the less we treat one another as sacred. Isn't that true? When we forget who we are, we forget who all others are too. He says we suffer from soul forgetfulness. Sin leads to deformity of our true expression. And today, when we say someone makes a mistake or has been untrue, we say, well, that's human nature. But the Celtic tradition did not believe this. These mistakes are not viewed as human nature. They are a betrayal of our nature, a denial of what is deepest within us, which is the true essence of the divine. In their tradition, we are to live as our true selves. And as Eriugena says, that we are gods made from God. Now, Unity teaches, as I'm sure, in the handy-dandy revealing word, it says that sin is missing the mark, not remembering our true selves, that we are children of God. We are fully human and fully divine. Same thing. Unlike the original sin doctrine that I grew up with, that dominates the Western Christianity culture, the teaching that what is deepest in us and what is most original to our nature is opposed to God rather than being of God. Celtic wisdom and Eriugena taught us that our capacity to know the flow of all divine things, that we are the pure gift of God, and it is deep within each and every one of us and all living beings in the universe. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. And the more I read, the more I see where unity, as I said last week, it ain't old thought, folks. It ain't new thought, it's old. It's been around for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and we have had, it's been suppressed, forgotten, soul forgetfulness, and it's coming back to life in different ways, in different forms. I'm so grateful that I found this book, that it appeared in front of me, and I was told, read this book. You're going to like it, and I do, and I have been. And one more thing I want to share with you. The Celtic Christian world, or the Celtic world, not just Christianity. Remember, Brigid is combining both. She's the bridge to both. Jesus is viewed as not someone coming to reveal a foreign truth, but to disclose the deepest truth of our being. Jesus is viewed in the Celtic wisdom as lifting the veil that we may see again our true selves, that we are made of God, and that we might know again the sacredness of all things. And that includes each one of us, that God is essence in all things. That is truth. I feel that within me. That is truth. God is the essence of all things. That Jesus was here to remind us of our true selves, because it had been so bogged down with the Roman church. So bogged down. And then after he died in the 30s, 32, 33, 34, that it just came further and further down. Folks were trying to bring this forth, like I was sharing with you with Irenaeus and who was like Pelagius. It was trying to come back again, but the Roman church didn't like it. No. For whatever reason. I won't go into the politics. But it was still trying to come forth, and it is still now trying to come forth. You guys have read stuff. You know what's happening. But there are little pockets, and it's just growing larger and larger, trying to bring forth the truth that Jesus came here to share with us. We are fully human and fully divine, sacred in all ways. And those that say we have sinned, we're just forgetting our true selves. The divine flows through us continuously. The God, the Christ, flows through us continuously. And that we are God, little g, that's what he said, little g, made from God, big G. And the more that you tap into it, the more that you meditate, the more that you dig deep within you, you connect with that divine, and your radiant light just glows. And both of these people, they were here to help others realize their true selves too. You don't have to teach, you don't have to preach, you don't have to talk. You just radiate your true selves, and they will pick up on it. I assure you that happens. Just be your true selves, and they will connect what is within them, what they're sensing, what is it within you, what's happening to you. They will sense it, and they may ask you questions, or they may start going within more and more and connecting to that divine, that their true self and their true self. That's what we're here for. Knowing who we are and helping others too. And realizing that this sacredness, this flow, divine flow, this river of God that is in all things, realize that is within us. The last thing I want to share. Obviously, Eugenius was a threat to imperial Christianity. my goodness, they probably chased the guy down with somebody saying, I am God made of God, right? Or we are, rather. His writings were condemned by the church by 2 councils, not 1, 2. The first was in 855 and the second was in 859. And he died peacefully in 877 in Gaul. These teachings that I've been sharing and reading about and being able to share with you are just so beautiful. And I feel it's truth for me. I'm hoping that you were feeling the same, or if not, maybe you'll go read about these folks. Maybe get the book and read it. It's amazing. It is beautifully written too. So next week I'm going to talk about 2 more people. I cannot remember their names right now. I know one of them has to do with imagination, which, hello, isn't that one of our 12 powers? Right? So, let's just sit quietly now and feel that God's self flowing through us. Know with every fiber of your being that you are God made from God, and that light, that Christ that is within you glows continuously. That connection never severs. We are always one with God, always one with Source, always one with our Creator. And just sit with that as we listen to a beautiful music from Paulette. Paulette, that was beautiful. I appreciate you. So let's come together and have an opportunity to bless the spiritual center. And you will take your offering out and hold it over your heart if you wish, or hold it in your hand. Let us pray together our prayer of plenty. In the infinity of this moment, all is perfect, whole, and complete. We acknowledge the one presence and one power expressing through us in Unity Williamsburg Spiritual Center every moment of every day. We open our hearts to the wisdom and intelligence that exist in the universe and in our minds, through which all answers, resources, opportunities, solutions, creativity, and all healing comes. All doubt is released as we trust that our needs are being met in this moment. Divine order is unfolding for our highest good now. And so it is. Amen. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed. And yes, we are blessed. So we thank you for the offerings that you have given us. Please know that it is used for not only our spiritual community, but our surrounding community. We help those around us not only and help ourselves too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we know that when we give from that God space that is within each and every one of us, we receive. As everything moves out on the web of life, it always comes back to you. And so it is. Blessed be. Linda has some announcements for us.
Okay, so today is the last day of our holiday food drive for Fish Incorporated. Groceries will be delivered on Tuesday, December 6th. Tuesday, December 6th is also our first Tuesday prayer, meditation, and healing service from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Then Saturday the 11th, Nanette Davidson will be hosting the monthly sensitive support group from 1 to 3. Saturday, December 17th, we will be celebrating the winter solstice with drumming, meditation, and music from 11 to 12. Flyers for all of these, the first Tuesday service, the sensitive support group, and winter solstice drumming ceremony, plus the December events, are on the podium at the door. Please take one and share with others. Next Sunday is our Christmas luncheon. After the service, there's a sign-up sheet on the table on the right in the fellowship room. Check it out and add what you'd like to share with everyone. Prayer boxes are available at the front of the sanctuary and on the table in fellowship. Please place your prayer requests in the box. They will be picked up by our chaplains, and prayer will begin immediately. Our prayer chaplain today is Jane Siegel. She'll be at the back of the sanctuary offering private prayers. If you have a prayer request during the week, please email your requests to our prayer chaplains at prayerunitywilliamsburg@gmail.com. Of course, remember, all prayer requests are held in the strictest of confidence by our prayer chaplains. We'd love to stay in touch, so just go to our website, unitywilliamsburg.com, and fill out the information to be on our email list to receive our weekly update, which features upcoming events, guest speakers, and lots of great articles. Or you can fill out a form that's on the table over here on the right and put it in the prayer boxes, and the chaplains will get the information to the right folks. Of course, if you find you don't receive weekly information from us, please check your spam folder or check back with us to see if your email address got coded in the wrong way. Okay, I think that's it. Anything else? No?
Yeah, we're good. Good. Thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.
Oh, what a beautiful day in the neighborhood, right? So let us come together in center and sing our peace song.
peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as Creator, and we all are we. Let us walk with each other, perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me, let this be the moment now. With every step I take,